Good evening and welcome to Tottenham Hotspur versus Sporting Lisbon match day reaction. What an absolute chaotic end to the Champions League match day 5 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Once again, thanks for joining us. If you just like to smash subscribe and follow to our channel. Unfortunately, it looks like it's just me running solo as the others are either just leaving the ground, stuck in traffic, trying to get home, or hopefully trying to get on stream. But, not unfortunate, but you've got me to take you through the 90 minutes of what people witnessed in the stadium and what people witnessed at home. So once again, it was Tottenham Hotspur 1, Sporting Lisbon 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Right, so my thoughts on the game. I was actually at the game, and I was sat behind the south stand, and there was that massive tifo today as well. And got to give a big up to everyone that was involved putting up the tifo. Obviously, from the opposite end, it must have looked absolutely mental. We was holding up the tifos and that, and it looked, I saw pictures of it prior to the game and I saw some videos and it looked absolutely immense. So once again, big up to everyone that was involved in putting out all that tifo. However, let's talk about the game. So if you watched the game, please leave your comments in the section, and I would love to hear your points of view as well, how you all thought how the game went. And joining me from the stadium, where obviously I was, and we was both in the same stand, and I met him at half time, and boy, we had a good discussion, is Sean Hotspur Hurley. Good evening, Sean. How are you? Have you left the
ground? I'm still recovering. I can't believe that I've had not a perfectly good goal, but a goal disallowed in that manner broke my heart.
Yeah, it did. It broke our heart, I tell you. I was just telling the viewers that obviously we met at half time and we had a lot of stuff to say at half time in terms of performance. What did you think of the performance overall? We'll discuss the first half performance as well, but overall, what did you think of the performance?
A game of two halves is the classic expression, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were much better in the second half, but I don't think we deserved the win, to be honest. Yeah. Although the chances that piled up near the end,
This is it. And I think what you've said exactly puts the nail in, put the hammer on the nail. And the first half, we just didn't turn up. It's a game of two halves. That first half was shocking, to say the least. Yeah, we didn't do anything going forward. We let them come at us, and every time they come at us, they had players all on the overlap, always behind them because they were doing dummies and whatever, and the ball was always falling to one of their players. We created absolutely nothing in that first half. There was no intensity. There was just nothing. Everybody was like walking pace. And you said it, and I said it as well, that if there was going to be one person to score that goal, it was going to be Marcus Edwards. And it was a great finish. It was a great finish. What did you think of this finish?
In the first half, they were slicing through us like, a hot knife through butter, weren't they?
Yeah.
They seemed to have the measure of us. Their passing was absolutely crisp, and ours was slow and ponderous.
Yeah.
We were kind of lucky to be only 1-0 down, probably at half time.
Yeah. You know what? I think they had two. They carved us up. They scored, and then they carved us up once, maybe. But then in the second half, they should have scored two because they carved us up like a knife going through butter. But Marcus Edwards' goal, there was a lot of people, and even it was shocking. The goalkeeper should have saved.
Take your Spurs hat off. That's an incredible goal.
Yeah, because I was directly behind that goal when it went in, and you know what? It may be a slow shot, it may be a soft shot, but the accuracy And the way he placed it, in the only place he could have found, he placed it. So you've got to give Marcus Edwards credit for that goal. I think we've lost you, Sean, have we? Aha. You back? You're back? I think we're having difficulties with Sean. Sean, you're back?
I can hear you. It's just I've got some background noise.
Yeah.
I'm on a bus.
You know, you've got to give credit to.
First time I've done it on the bus.
You're on the bus, yeah. You're on the bus, right? So
anyway, I'm probably going to have to go because my battery's about to go on my phone. But I thought I'd call in and say it's all to play for next week now.
Absolutely.
We want it to be, but
yeah,
we've got
Thanks for
still got to scrap our way out of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Sean.
And it looks like Conte won't be on the touchline because we've got a red card in the melee at the end.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. That's right.
But anyway, a big shout out to the viewers, and I'll catch you later in the week.
All right, mate. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. So it was a game of two halves, as Sean just said, and I totally agree with him. That first half, we was absolutely awful. Passing, we couldn't pick a player out. They were playing the better football, and every time they got the ball, they seemed to find their players. They was cutting us open. Not much end product to be fair, but they were creating the better chances, and we were just poor. First off, you know, and many games I've been to Spurs this season, and we've just either not turned up in the first half or we've not turned up in the second half. And today it was non-existent first half, and we turned up in the second half. First off, we got booed off as well. There was quite a few fans that booed off, especially where I was. There was a hell of a lot of effing and blinding and players getting slagged off. My biggest concern was, now I'm going to read something to everybody, every viewer, right? And this is what a definition, according to the dictionary, right? The definition of captain is a person in command of a ship, right? But in football terms, the leader of a team, especially in sports, right? We've got a captain, a goalkeeper captain, who is very, very uncaptain, if you know what I mean. That first half, I didn't hear him say one single word to any of the defenders. In fact, he didn't say a word to anyone, right? There was no encouragement. There was no shouting at players. There was nothing. And he is our captain. He is the leader of the team. Now, if our leader of the team is not doing absolutely nothing, then what do you expect the rest of the players to do? He's supposed to be leading from the back, not from the front. But for me, he did absolutely nothing. And I don't know whether you guys who were watching at home or people in the stadium agree or disagree, but that's my opinion. And I think as a captain, he's very, very poor, absolute poor. And he does not deserve to be wearing that captain's armband. And I hope Antonio Conte looks at that and decides to change our captain. Anyway, going back to the game, let's quickly go through some of the stats. As you well know, it was Tottenham Hotspur 1, Sporting Lisbon 2. A lot of fans should probably saying it should have been Tottenham 2, Sporting 1. They took the lead with a great finish by Marcus Edwards, 22nd minute. And then Rodrigo Bentancur, 80th minute header, equalised for Tottenham. 58% possession to us, 42% possession to them. We had 18 shots. They had 10 shots. And I think a majority of them shots came in the second half. Shots on target, 7. They had 4 on target. 10 corners, 6 corners to them. 12 fouls and 10 fouls to them. And I think I have gone off air. I don't know why that's gone on. But Oh, here we go. I'm back again. So in terms of possession, first off, I think they had a lot of possession. And it was only in the second half where we've come back and we've had a hell of a lot of possession. And 18 shots we've had eventually, 7 on target. But that second half, I mean, a lot of people have said that second half, we came out of them, which we had to. And we pressured them. And I personally think it was a lot like the first game where we absolutely pelted them. And they scored 2 towards the end. Again, second half, we absolutely pelted them. But it was a bit of huffing and puffing. Keeper made a couple of not decent saves, but bread and butter saves. Although they had the best 2 opportunities, I think, as well in the second half where they should have wrapped the game up. But they didn't. We got equaliser. And then we pushed at them. And Harry Kane steps up in the 90th minute with the winner, which honestly, I don't know. As far as I was aware, if the ball comes off the defender into the ongoing attacker and he scores, then it's not offside because it's come off their player. But it took them 4 minutes to disallow that goal. Now, for me, it's a clear and obvious decision to rule a goal out. If it takes 4 minutes, then they're not clear and they're definitely not obvious to them, because 4 minutes is a hell of a long time in football for VAR to be looking at a decision. I don't know what angles they were looking at, how many angles they were looking at, but if it's taking them 4 minutes, then that for me is not clear and it's not conclusive. So that goal should not have been disallowed. I don't know. Thoughts in the comment section appreciated if you thought that was an offside or not offside. Let's have a look at a few of the comments from my fellow Paxton Road fans. So, good evening to everyone. Juice Nuts is saying here, bloody referee. Current referees are a bunch of goalmless plebs. I still can't fathom how Kane's goal didn't stand. Must be a referee bunk. From what I've gathered, they're saying that it was a hairline offside. I mean, I don't know. This offside debate is going to go on and on and on and on forever and ever. I don't know until that referee and the VAR people come out and actually tell us the real reason why it was sent offside. I have no idea. Kevin Murray, good evening. He's saying tight call. Emerson looked offside. Emerson didn't look offside. I saw the replays many times. I don't think it was Emerson. I think they've given it against Harry Kane. Good evening to Eddie Ryan. Been saying all season our defense is not good enough. I totally agree with you. The pace when teams are attacking us, our defenders haven't got the pace to catch up with them. I mean, today was Perisic, Ben Davies, Romero, Dyer, and who played on the left? I can't remember who played on the left. We'll see in a minute. But Doherty, we haven't got the pace. And Marcus Edwards, every time they were running at us, it was causing problems. And I agree with you, Eddie Ryan. All season, the defense has been bad. Kevin Murray is also saying, thoroughly entertaining game. Spurs were brilliant second half. I agree with you there, Kevin. Second half, we upped it. We had to up it because we couldn't get any worse than we were in the first half. And we had to pepper them, and we did. A lot of the times we were peppering them with no end results. But when the push comes to the shove, eventually they broke and we got the goal. Good evening to David Clark from Leicester. David Clark is saying, if we draw next week, we still go through. Yes, we do, but this is Tottenham Hotspur, and we always like to make life so difficult for us, because had we won today, we would have been guaranteed into the next round. And going to Marseille, which I'll discuss later on towards the end, it's not going to be easy. Pav, as I can't make it on, I'm giving my take on the game. VAR's a shambles, invisible in the first half, but played a decent in the second half. A must win at Marseille. Agree. And me and you, Pav, said yesterday, didn't we, that the first 20 minutes are going to be really important. And we just didn't turn up first 20 minutes. And we made hard work of it and eventually got a draw in the second half. But we did say that we needed to win this game today as a must to have a little bit of pressure taken off us next week, because now we've got Bournemouth, Champions League next week, and then we go from a trip to France to play Liverpool at home. So it's made it a lot tougher and a harder week. Kevin Murray, that Edwards lad is brilliant. Do you know what? He was in and out of the game, but when he did get the ball, he caused chaos and he ran at our defense. And I mean, he was running at Ben Davies and Doherty, so but he was cutting in and he was giving our players a lot of grief. Great player he is, and a great finish as well. So you've got to give it to him. I say this all the time. Lloris shouldn't be captain. He doesn't show that leadership. We need to be working as a team, and he should be encouraging. But like you said, Sid, he didn't show that at all. Totally agree, Pav. He did not do anything at all. And in that second half, what on earth was he doing when he came out of the area and then he's playing as a left wing back? The whole South stand had their hands over their eyes, hearts in their mouth. A lot of effing and blinding, a lot of swearing, and it was fortunate that the flag went up. But a goalkeeper, I mean, this is what we said. This is what Kevin Wilson said. We know what he does. He comes out of his area a lot of times, and he's done it again today. Luckily, the flag went up, and had they have scored and the flag hadn't gone up, I think there would have been absolute uproar. And this is our captain. I'm going to stop now because I don't want to say any more. Nuno Espirito Santo saying, why can't the Tottenham Academy produce players like Edwards? Well, he was from our academy, weren't he? And we just let him go because he had a fallout and they said he was having issues, which he's admitted to, that he got too big for his boots and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think there's anyone there to put on around him and guide him, unfortunately. And then he left. He had a difficult season wherever he was, and he's now at Sporting where he's found his feet and he's found somebody obviously looking after him. And he's done well. Our academy doesn't seem to be producing anything at the moment, unfortunately, because we're getting hammered. I think we got hammered the other day as well, and I think we got beat again today. Colin Lumsden is saying last season they said if VAR was close, they would side with the attacker, but I haven't seen them do this at all this season. Plus, the ball come off the defender. Exactly what I said to you, Colin. If the ball comes off the defender, it's not offside. And it should not take 4 minutes for them to make a bloody decision. It's ridiculous. Nuno Espirito Santo saying, every time I see Eric Dyer acting like he's some top centre-back, I vomit. Although he had 2 clear-cut chances today and goal, gift edge chances, which he should have buried. And in all fairness, that's Kane's positions. And Kane was nowhere near them positions today. And Eric Dyer got in there, so you've got to give him credit. But gilt-edge chances, in my opinion, which he should have buried. Nuno, we did produce Edwards as a youngster. He was a complete D-head, so we got rid of him. He's obviously grew up exactly like, yeah, that's right. Lloris is not making it to the bench of any top 8 Premier League side. He's a clown. Kevin Murray is also saying here, Dyer should have scored. And we'll come back to some more of the comment sections in a minute. Right, so starting lineup today, which was a surprise because he made 6 changes. Hugo Lloris, Romero, Dyer Davis, Doherty, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Perisic, Lucas Moura, Son, and Kane. I did say that he'd play with the 3 and Lloris at the back, although I went with Emerson Royal and Perisic, Højbjerg, Bentancur. I didn't go for Moura, but he played with that. Starting lineup for me looked decent. I don't think Højbjerg had a decent game, to be fair. I think he was huffing and puffing a lot. Lucas Moura, for me, again, first off, non-existent. He only came into existence in the second half in bits and bats, but then he disappeared. Bentancur, again, was not too bad. Son disappeared again, which he has done a lot of the games. Kane did have a decent game. I think he done all right. Every time he tried to do the intricate passing and that, it didn't work out for me. Overall, I think the team, he made the changes that he had to make. However, for me, and I've said this many times, I think Perisic is not looking like a player that's going to suit the Premiership. He couple of crosses, he's done all right. Corners, 1 or 2, but he just did not beat any of his man. He didn't take any of his men on. So for me, I don't know. Thoughts on Perisic, people in the comment section. I just don't think he's made for the Premiership, and that's my personal opinion. I don't know if anybody else agrees. However, substitutions, again, he midway through the second half, he made a few substitutions. But for me, Brian Gill, when he came on today, and I think he made in the last game against Frankfurt, in the last couple of minutes when he came on, he made an effort. Today, every time he got the ball, he wanted to run at players. He was running down the wings. He was cutting in, cutting out. And for me, he made a massive, massive difference. Linkage play was quite decent as well. He was looking to cross the ball every time he got the ball, right? And for me, what he did in that last 25, 30 minutes, a lot of the players didn't do anything in the 90 minutes. And I think when he came on, the intensity went up because he wanted to attack all the time. And he should be number one on that list on Saturday against Bournemouth. He has to be given a chance. He has to play against Bournemouth because Mora didn't do it today. Perisic didn't do it today. Son didn't do it today. So he has to play instead of one of them players next week. Or whether the rest players, well, you go performance. But for me, some of them have to not be playing. And Gill has to start. Let's have a look. What else are people saying in the comment section? David Clock is saying here, no, you are wrong. The rule was changed. If Kane's knee was in front of Royal when he played the ball back and not when he struck the final ball, if the defender deliberately played the ball, it's onside. But if it accidentally comes off the defender, then it's offside. So, okay, that's fine. It was Edwards' first goal in 6. He's not that good. He's not good, but both the games he's played against us, he's done well. Whether our defenders are crap and we've let him play or the systems let him play, but I think he's played well in the 2 games against us. So they checked the Kane's position from the original cross and it was marginally offside. Fair enough. That's what they're saying. David Clark is saying here, Mora was finished at this level 3 years ago, and I think he's finished now. I know Sean Hurl's not got a good thing to say about him, but I think January window, Mora has to be one of them that leaves because, yes, doesn't do enough. He couldn't get past his players. He's lost that pace now as well. And there's better players that we've got that can do a better job than him. Kevin Murray, Brian Gill did very well today. Totally agree. David Clark is saying here, Perisic should take all the corners and wide free kicks because Son sucks. I have to agree. Son's corners are poor. Son's free kicks are poor. In general, Son's been poor this season. So, yes. But Perisic as well, not all the time. His crosses and his free kicks or whatever are on point. But he's probably out of everyone that we've got in that team, I think he's probably the best set piece taker that we've got. So, for me, overall match summary, I think first off, I don't know what it is with Tottenham. I don't know what it is with Conte. That intensity is just not there in first half. It's so lethargic. There was points where Kane was just walking around, and I think it wasn't just Kane. I think it was a lot of other players just walking around, not pressing them, not running to get the ball. The intricate passing wasn't working. Again, I saw many times Dyer trying to do that through ball. Okay, we had more of there, but it just didn't work. It might have worked once, but keeper got it comfortably. Second half, the intensity was there. We was 1-0 down, so I think we had to come at them, meaning we was left open a couple of times at the back. But I think now we've come to that stage where in January we need to get either a number 10 or another attacker because we haven't got anyone running through the middle. We haven't got anyone running at them. The through balls, if you're going through the middle, it's not happening. Kane, although he's a top striker, there's times where he's not where he's supposed to be. And I know he can't do everything, but we need him in that box. Them 2 headers that Eric Dyer had, if they fall to Kane, if he's in that position, we score. Simple as. And that's Kane's position, to be in that box. So there's a lot of negativities. There's a lot of positivities towards the end of that game. Yes, a lot of fans said we should have won that game. We knocked on their door many, many times. But that final finish, it wasn't there. We had a few efforts, but it was just not there. Now, we've got away with it today, to be fair. If they took their chances, that 2 gilt-edged chances in the second half. They put the game to bed, and potentially we could be looking at being knocked out of the Champions League following Barcelona into the Europa League. However, as the table stands now, we are top of the league, played 5, won 2, drawn 2, lost 1, goal difference of 1, and we're on 8 points. Sporting Lisbon now are on 7 points, with Eintracht Frankfurt, who beat Marseille, on 7 points, and Marseille are on 6 points. So, going into next week now, it is going to be an absolutely humdinger of a Champions League Group D next week, because it's all open. Any one of them 4, or any 2 from that 4 now can qualify next week. We play Marseille, and Frankfurt are playing Sporting. So if Sporting beat at Frankfurt, if Frankfurt beat Sporting, they end up on 10 points. If Marseille beat us, they go above us, and we could end up second to bottom. So next week, going to Paris or going to Marseille in front of their crowd, which I think, if I'm correct, and if there's anybody in the comment section, please let me know. They've got a ban on fans, haven't they? I think they only allowed 25% of fans in or something like that. So it's not going to be a full stadium. However, it'll be a noisy stadium with whatever fans are in there. And for us to go there, we're going to have to try and win the game. Yeah, we win the game. If we don't win the game, we can do with a point. Because if we get a point, we're on 9 points. And then whatever happens between Frankfurt and Sporting, whoever wins that game probably finish top, we finish second. So it's going to be a very, very, very tough assignment next week, going to Marseille to try and get a point or the win. We've got Bournemouth on Saturday or Sunday. Correct me if I'm wrong, and let me just double check. I think we play Bournemouth on Saturday. So we've got to lift ourselves up, because we don't want 3 back-to-back defeats in the Premier League. So we need to get up and running again in the Prem. Depending on injuries, depending on fitness, then we go to France on Monday or Tuesday. We're playing them Tuesday. So we go to France on Monday, and we've got to try and get a result, because next week is going to decide whether we qualify for the next stage of the Champions League, or whether we go into the Europa League, or whether we get completely knocked out. So very, very busy next 7 days. Very, very tough games for us. I'm hoping we go there and we win the game. But I've been to all the 3 Champions home games now, and I have not been convinced whatsoever with our performances so far. We cannot, and I agree with here we go, this comment here from David Clark. We haven't put 90 minutes together all season, and that is 100%. We've put in 45 minutes here and there, but we haven't put a full 90 minutes. And next week, we're going to have to put a full 90 minutes in. And then we've got Liverpool at home straight after on the Saturday or Sunday. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. Let's have a look. Kevin Murray saying here, Doherty, I'm afraid no, and I'm here in Ireland and not at that level, one-dimensional. David Clark is saying Bentancur was our best player, and Kane's not in the box because he has to come out because he is our best creative player. Totally agree with you, David. And this is the problem. If we don't go and get a creative player, or if we don't, I don't know if we have to change the system or whatever, he is our best creative player. And I think I heard this on Sky Sports as well. I think was it Team Sherwood or who somebody else said. I can't remember what it was today. They said exactly the same. He is our best creative player. And if he's coming out to create, we haven't got anyone in there. And unfortunately, our best creative player that we can sort of turning point since he's been injured is Kulusevski. Since he's been injured, we've not been at the races. So sooner he gets back, but it's not going to be till after Christmas. So it's a problem. And he can't create and he can't score. So it's a problem. And I think that problem is going to stay until January. Colin Lumsden is saying here, if the defender is trying to block the ball, that shows intent. So he did mean to touch the ball. Do you know what, Colin and David and everybody else? This argument is going to go on forever and ever and ever. If he's taken 4 minutes to make that decision, then for me, it's not clear and obvious. So I don't know. But it's a good discussion to have as Tottenham fans. Everybody else, they're going to say, well, tough shit. Tottenham deserve it. Blah, 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 blah. David Clark is saying here, Marseille would be hard, but their ultras won't be there because they have a ban and only selected people will be chosen, mostly children. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Dinosaur, the 60 million should have got Maddison and kept Bale, cover and impact, goals and assists guaranteed. I agree with Maddison, but not with Bale. I think Bale's only once World Cup, and I don't think we would have, maybe as an impact player, 10-15 minutes, but I don't think Conte wanted him as a 10-15 minute player, and he was definitely not going to pay his wages. So there you go. Right, that's that. Again, just a quick summary. We started the game slowly, came back into the game second half, huffed and puffed, and we tried to blow the door away. And unfortunately, we managed to get one, but couldn't get the killer and couldn't capitalize on all the possession shots we had in the second half. 2 games now we've played against Lisbon. Both the games we've created a lot. Should have won both the games, but lost the first one 2-0 in injury time, and we've managed to get a draw 1-1. So we move on. It's upwards and onwards as always till the next game, which is Bournemouth away this weekend, which is going to be another tough game. And then we move on to Marseille and then Liverpool. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting this on my own, again, going solo. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you to everyone for joining in. Thank you for your comments. Please subscribe, like, and follow our channel. Just a couple more on this one. Bailey's on $2 million deal. Bailey's on a $2 million deal. Sid, you got that back in shirts. Yeah, I think I agree. You probably would have done. But performance-wise and that, I don't know. But I don't think Conte wanted him, to be fair, Dino. I know it would have been good to have him back, but I think Conte probably put a stop to that. Bale wouldn't have got through even one of Conte's training sessions, and I'm from Leicester, and Maddison will cost a minimum of 65 million. But this is what it is now, isn't it? At the end of the day, we could have got him cheaper. We didn't in the first instance, and now we're going to be begging on their doors saying, please, can we have some more? Please, Maddison, come to us. I know he's going to be moving at some point. I think January might happen, whether it comes to us, Man United or Arsenal or whoever, whatever. But I tell you one thing, if we want players in January, we're going to have to spend a hell of a lot of money. And if Daniel Levy is watching this, get your checkbooks ready, because if you're going to back Conte, you're going to have to go big. And I mean big in January, because Conte wants 4 signings, and they ain't going to be your 5 million, 10 million on loan, whatever signings. They're going to be big 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 million pound signings. So let's see what happens with that. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the game. And please come back on Friday, where we should have a preview show for the Bournemouth game. Once again, thank you very much. Have a good week. Enjoy whatever you guys are doing, whether you go to work or whatever. Thank you very much, and catch you later.